Hello there, my name is Up, and holy shit, I have got like 3 consistent weeks of uploads. Let's add another week with the story of the Pendulum Wars, a 79-year-long war in the universe of the Gears of War. The Pendulum War was a global war between the two major superpowers on the planet of Sera, the Coalition of Ordered Governments, or the COG, and the Union of Independent Republic, or the UIR. This war was over different resources all over the planet, but mainly emulsion. Millions of lives were lost and the environment was completely obliterated by devastating weapons. The pre-war events. A few decades before the war, Sera was plunged in a millennia-long conflict known as the Age of Armageddon. In this age, humans almost destroyed themselves and the planet of Sera. After being nearly extinct, the human race realized their ways were wrong and embraced peace. This time is also known as the Era of Silence. This era led to advancements of art, science, and culture. This fun was soon cut short because of the shortage of energy. To find another resource to counter this shortage, expeditions were formed and so emulsion was found. This was, however, a useless energy until Dr. Helen Cooper created the light mass process. A process that presumably killed the parasitic organism in the emulsion and turned it into a fuel-like resource like petroleum. Full implementation of the light mass fuel eliminated the use of nuclear-based energy, and with that a lot of jobs, leaving people jobless, and eventually this caused the fall of Sera's world economy. The countries with less emulsion in the ground started war with each other, and so the Age of Silence was ended. The 79-year-old war. At a place called the Kashgar Fronts, the Cogs were defending an emulsion-rich land called, well, Kashgar, from the UIR nation of Furlan. The Cog were able to fight off the UIR infantry, or Indies, until the president of Vashgar, a bordering country, gave up his status of president. This gave the UIR the opportunity to invade Vashgar and another front to attack Kashgar. This gave the UIR an opportunity to attack Anvil Gate, where the Cogs mostly were stationed, while the second front headed to the capital of Kashgar called Savad. To counter the Indies from gaining anything, the Cogs shut down the emulsion supply. This, however, caused millions of citizens to go dark, as well as shutting down hospitals and power stations. This forced the UIR to ship supplies from neighboring UIR nations for the local population of Kashgar, so they could keep balance and peace in that nation. After the takeover of Shavad, the UIR started their siege on Anvil Gate, where the Cog were stationed. The siege lasted 3 months, and the Anvil Gate was reduced to rubble from mortar attacks from the UIR. Hoffman and his troops had a choice of either dying and getting civilians captured, or surrender and have the civilians evacuated. Keeping the civilians in mind, Hoffman surrendered, but he did not end it there. As the Indies were coming, the Cog trapped them in the old part of the city and unleashed fire. 200 of the Indie soldiers were killed. Even though the Cog lost several of their own men, they still claimed victory at Anvil Gate. The Climax. Several small war events later, the Climax neared, and that was the raid on Aspo Fields, with an operation name called Leveler. Knowing the UIR were ahead in creation of an orbital weapon, the Cog had to take countermeasures. The Cog deployed the 26th RTI, that is pretty much Marcus and all his friends, and the Navy to assault the coast. Meanwhile, a team led by Commander Hoffman raided the base and stole the plans for the Hammer of Dawn. Even though the Cog lost a lot of their own forces, they managed to evacuate with the plans of the Hammer of Dawn. After the raid, the Cog and the UIR fought for another 2 years. Over these 2 years, Adam Phoenix, the father of Marcus Phoenix, finished the Hammer of Dawn. On a coast city occupied by the Cog, the UIR decided to bombard it. As a countermeasure, the Cog unleashed their new little toy. The Hammer obliterated 5 ships in an instant and forced the UIR fleet to withdraw. Knowing that the Hammer of Dawn worked, the Cog used it on all the other Indie settlements, and so the Premier of the UIR entered negotiations and eventually surrendered. Not every UIR nation agreed on the surrender, and insurgencies were created. The UIR nations that surrendered were helped rebuild by the Cog. 6 weeks after the surrender of the UIR, E-Day hit, and the planet of Sera was once again at war. Well, these are the most important events in the Pendulum Wars. It's a shame that not much of it is covered in the actual games, but rather in the comics and the novels. I wanted to thank everyone who has subscribed to me. because I'm nearing 100 subscribers, and let's hope for another 100 more. Well, thanks for watching. See you guys on the flip side. Boop!